Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Johngy URLs podcast. I, of course, am who else but Tommy else. And with me, joining us back in the saddle again, from Skokie, Illinois, the man on the beat, from johnjysbeat.com, Mr. Jonathan Salvador Robleski.
See, you blew it. You dropped the ball on this one.
Why?
The name should have been Stan.
Well, the name was Salvador because that was the name of Sophia Petrillo's husband, her late husband.
All right, well, I think Stan is more.
Stan's not a good middle name. Salvador works.
All right.
Well, and the reason that we're talking Golden Girls right out of the chute here is we've got a great show. It's going to be a good one. We've got Golden Con 2023 coming to town here in Chicago, and we have two of the organizers for it, Zack Hudson and Brad Balof, joining us today to talk about the convention and how they got started with it and what you can expect there, and we even get to have a little fun and talk some Golden Girls, talk some shop. John, and that I'm a big fan, and I know people who watch the show and stuff, but I mean, like, the deep cuts, the specific episodes, certain lines, things like that. Like, I don't have a lot of people to talk to about that, so that's where talking with the guys like these are these are my people. And
You can always talk to hardcore Heather Owens.
That's true. That's true. I'm sure she
A
would love
previous
to.
guest.
She would love to be at this as well.
Well, let's real quick. The Golden Con is at the Sheraton Grand Chicago Riverwalk. It's from March 31st through April 2nd. That's Friday through Sunday. It's a 3-day event. As the gentleman will explain, you don't necessarily have to go all 3 days, but if you're a Golden Girls fan, you probably want to go all 3 days. But It's going to be 3 days of fun. I'm not as I admit, I'm not as nearly as huge of a fan as you are. But with all due respect, I did love the show, and I love it more as an adult now. I am a fan of it. Stanley Svornick, love the name.
Yeah, Stanley.
Which is your favorite of the four Golden Girls? Who is your favorite?
Sophia. I'm a Sophia guy. I used to be. I think as a kid, I think I was more of a Blanche, but
You mean as a teenager, raging?
Yeah, with raging hormones and age was not an issue for me. I didn't care. Blanche was
Blanche looked good no matter how old she was, but
she did.
I was also Sophia because
Rue McClanahan. I mean, it's like you could watch her on what am I blanking on? Maud. That's what I'm trying to think of.
She wasn't she also on the show with Ken Berry and Vicki Lawrence, Mama's Family? Wasn't she on that? She was on another show.
She was. I think she was. I think she was on. Yeah, I think she was. But she's looked the same, like across like her whole career, as far as I can tell. I mean, so. But as I got older, I mean, like I always loved Sophia, as a kid too. But Sophia, as I got older, just got funnier and funnier, and so.
Well, as you know, I am half Sicilian. Like my maternal side is Sicilian, and so Sophia is very much like my grandmother was.
Yeah, she kind of reminds me of one of my grandmothers too. Just the very blunt, no filter, just saying whatever, and innocently enough for the most part. But but yeah. So anyway, this event is tailor made for someone like me. If you're someone who is a real big fan, but don't have many people to interact with and talk about that stuff with, because it's just going to be people who are all like-minded and but we'll get into all that in the interview. So,
But there's so much more too. Where even a casual fan like me, I love going to conventions. I love meeting celebrities. I love pitching around with the authors and the artists and the vendors. I'm not your A-level celebrity or A-level Golden Girls fan. I'm probably like a B, but I'm looking forward to this.
yeah. Well, that being said, let's talk to our guests for today. Again, they're the organizers of Golden Con 2023. So, welcome to the show, please, Zack Hudson and Brad Balof.
Welcome into the John Jarrell studio, Brad Balof and Zack Hudson of the Golden Con Convention. How are you guys?
Yes.
We're great. I'm great. How are you, Zack?
I am great. I'm so thrilled to be here with y'all.
We're
That's
happy
awesome.
to have you.
Yeah, no, I am a very, very big Golden Girls fan, and I'm excited about this event coming up. First off, can you kind of like explain to people what the event is and what your role behind it is?
Absolutely. Golden Con is an event-packed, guest star-packed, producer-packed, writer-packed 3-day fan party for people who love the Golden Girls. And since we have begun this journey back in 2020, we have discovered, although it should have been like second nature to us, we've discovered that there are people who love the Golden Girls around the world. You absolutely know somebody who loves the Golden Girls. And there's lots of those people out there. So yeah, we throw a big 3-day party for them and us because this is a convention, Golden Con, produced by fans for fans.
There are elements throughout the weekend that include performances by drag troops. We're thrilled to have the Golden Gals starring Ginger Minge join us this year. We've got the Golden Gays who tour the country with their show Looking for Sophia. I think they're doing a show this year, brand new for us. I think it's called Hot Flashbacks or Hot Flash Dancing, Hot something.
Yeah.
And so we've got entertainment. We've got the original singer of the Golden Girls theme song, Cindy Fee, joining us this year.
We've got
and then so that's sort of the fun part, but then there's a real streak of like that's less of a convention and more of a conference. We have the writers, the producers, the people who ran the show, the guest stars who are still with us, who come and talk about the show and offer insight about what it was like to work both with the 4 main stars, but also to be working on what was the most popular television show at the time and still remains to be so popular to this day.
I bet they probably enjoy doing this because they get to see each other and stuff too, and talk about that and relive those days,
Yeah, they seem to love it. Almost anybody we can make contact with, if they are physically able or have the time to join us, they say yes. So yeah, I if I had to guess, I'd say yes. They enjoy doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. There is a big community out there that it's it shouldn't be surprising. But you realize that, like you said, if you yourself wasn't a fan of the show, someone who was. And one of the things I've found in talking to, other Golden Girl fans is that a lot of the time they associate the show with like a very specific like memory or relationship. Like for me, I was there every Saturday night with my grandmother, and we sat down and watched it together. And she has since passed on, but anytime I watch that show, I feel like she's sitting right next to me. And it's as a kid, I thought it was funny, but as I've gotten older and now I get the jokes a lot more, I really like it now. They were just the wit on that show, the writing on it, everything was just great. But like I said, I've talked to people and it's just like, yeah, it was on after school and I remember coming home and watching that, or it was something our family always watched and things like that.
you've hit on three of the major kind of points of why the Golden Girls are so popular and remain so popular. The first, last year, we offered something where people could write on a note card just any of their feelings about the show, and literally hundreds of cards that said exactly what the sentiment that you just shared. I love this show because I always get emotional. I loved this show because I watched it with my grandma. I loved this show because I watched it with my daughter. I love the show because now when I watch it with my daughter, it's like she's with her grandma that she never got to meet. It's just really like emotionally connecting in that way. And then the other is how layered the show is, you know, how it has some slapstick comedy, it has some physical comedy, it has some raunchy humor, it's got some highbrow humor, it sort of hits on all cylinders. And so no matter where you at in on your maturity level of the comic spectrum, whether you're 8 or 48 or 58, you have something that is very entertaining.
It's, yeah, in that way, it's a show that it has kept giving over time, as you know, like I was saying, you know, I liked it when I was a kid, but as I got older and I start, you know, understanding the jokes and even the storylines more, you know, I got to enjoy them again, you know, for like the first time. But even with
I
all,
totally agree with that. I enjoy it much more now as an adult. And like Tommy, but I watched it with my mother and my two sisters. But I enjoy it much more now as an adult.
and it also, they were also able to have, you know, some serious topics that they tackled in there, especially at that time. Um, you know, Blanche's brother being gay was that was a thing, you know, and then, you know, Rose had her sister who had lost her eyesight, and, you know, and had to deal with that and learn how to live on it. I mean, there was a lot of like heavy stuff in there, you know. Occasionally, you know, one of the girls would get sick or whatever, and, you know, so it was something that, yeah, it really gives a lot. But at this event, so you have some of the guest stars. I know some of the Empty Nest cast is there. Another show that I just, as soon as that show started, I just went right into that one too. I love that. David Leisure was like, I don't know why, but as a kid, I just loved that guy. I just thought he was the best. You know, I mean, you know, he's the guy who would come in and like just walk in and make a sandwich out of your refrigerator, and, you know. But so I know you're going to have people like that. What else is there besides the actual guests that you'll be able to meet, and writers and so on?
One of the most exciting things, especially for people who live here in Chicago, is the Mother of a Solid Gold Dancer Disco. And Mother of a Solid Gold Dancer is a joke from the show.
Yeah.
That happens Saturday night, April 1st, like all Golden Con events, in the Sheraton Grand Chicago Riverwalk Ballroom.
Wow.
And it is a really fun, free, let's just have a good time and shake it for a little while to some great tunes dance party. But also you'll find that a lot of people are dressed up in Golden Girls costumes, or some even deeper like cosplay. Like they'll replicate the costumes that Dorothy and Sophia wore when they were in the Shady Pines mother-daughter beauty contest, and they dressed up like Sonny and Cher.
Yeah.
The Henny Penny costumes, nuns giving lingerie, out collecting lingerie for needy
probably
sex people.
the cat outfits.
Yeah, Mr. Terrific. Oh my God, we loved him. His name is Vinny. So it's a really fun event. And even if you can't come to all 3 days at Golden Con, or 2 days, you know, if you just want to come out and have a good time Saturday night with an awesome DJ, he is from London. He's a personal friend of mine. His name is Paul Joseph. He hosts for years. He's the DJ, the producer of this event called Athena 80s. So it's going to be a very danceable, retro, disco, 80s, 90s, like fun soundtrack for that night. And everybody can come shake it, have a drink, cool off, have a good time.
No, you hit upon. Oh, I'm just going ahead.
What?
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say some of the other things that happened throughout the weekend. Another big thing that we found love to participate in is trivia. So we have a trivia master who is there doing trivia like 5 rounds a day. You know, and then each person who wins one of the rounds gets to go to the final round, and there's a big, you know, trophy winning at the end, because it seems like along with the love of the Golden Girls, there's this love of the trivia around the Golden Girls with that, for sure. And then there's a vendor's mart, so people can buy very unique artistic Golden Girls swag, as well as some general things like keychains and buttons and magnets. But we have some really amazing artists who come and do just tremendous artistic renderings, and they'll be at the vendor's mart. And then we also have a stage at the vendor's mart for a smaller kind of and I wouldn't say one-on-one, but small group interactions with some of the authors, and you can meet each one of the guests a little bit more individually.
Yeah,
No,
I was
was just going to ask you guys, you mentioned a little bit about the costumes Saturday night. Is cosplay a big part, or is cosplay a large part of the whole convention, even the other days?
Yes. Short answer is yes. You'll see a lot of cosplay. We absolutely encourage and love it.
And, you know, as we were planning the first one, I really wanted to encourage it.
Yeah.
But I was like, gosh, I hope people show up in costumes. And then when we got there and people showed up in costumes, many different costumes, I was like, okay, you don't need to encourage this. People are ready.
They've got the message. Yeah, they'll do it. That's no, I kind of assumed that there would be cosplay, but it's interesting that you say that they come in like very specific costumes from specific episodes and stuff. That's cool. I like that deep dive type of thing. So that's
the
awesome.
official costume contest is Saturday night at the dance.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Speaking of trivia, Tommy, I think you brought something to the table.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I did I wanted to see, you know, like how well these guys know their Golden Girls, and it sounds like they're pretty confident. So here's how we're gonna do it. I'm gonna read the question. The first one to say your own name, gets to go. If you get it right, you get the point. If you get it wrong, the other person gets to take a swing at it.
You want me to keep score?
If you can count that high, buddy. All right. All right. We're gonna do like 5 questions here. Which U.S. president did Blanche claim that days after meeting her, publicly admitted he had secretly lusted in his heart?
Zach.
Okay.
That is from my home state of Georgia, President Jimmy Carter, my second favorite president. We love you, President Carter.
Yes, it's somewhat topical, unfortunately, as he's going into hospice, but you are correct. So that's
Zach
1
takes
point.
the lead.
Which high school history teacher in St. Olaf did Rose claim was actually Hitler?
Brad.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Franz Stickelmeyer.
Wrong.
Oh.
You got this.
It's Stickelmeyer. It's his last name. I might have the last name wrong, but the first name is definitely. You can call him whatever you want, but he was a history teacher. As much as I know that that's Ava Braun standing right behind him.
Right. Yes.
Wait, you know Ava Braun, but you don't. Oh no, wait. Mr. Stickelmeyer was the gym teacher. It was Ava Braun was the history teacher. Is that right? No, other way around.
No. Okay. So I will give you this, because you're just barely off. So the question, I'll repeat it, was which high school history teacher in St. Olaf did Rose claim was actually Hitler? The answer, you are right. It is Stickelmeyer. It's Fritz, not Franz.
Oh, you got it. Yeah, he gets that.
Well,
thank you.
Well, if Zach had called, if he had Franz, if he had the answer, I'd have given him that. But all right, so we're 1-1.
No one wanted to hear about your Fritz and history teacher. Okay.
All right. Okay. How about who is George Devereaux's brother?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Jamie Devereaux, played by rest in peace, the same actor who played George in A Dream Sequence, George Grizzard.
Very good.
Nicely done. Zach back in the lead. 2-1.
I only know that because I tried to look him up to book him.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the address of the girl's house?
Zach.
Yeah, I know the street name. I don't know the number.
So there's two addresses, but the one used most, it's 6151, but one time Estelle Getty reversed it and said 5161. So it's 5161 or 6151 Richmond Street.
Yes, yes, yeah.
They
They
takes the commanding lead.
yeah, 6151. So what's this score there?
3-1, Zach.
In St. Olaf, what was the town's biggest honor after large curd cottage cheese queen, of course?
Brad,
Okay.
small curd cottage cheese queen.
Yes. I'm impressed. I am impressed.
Is that it?
What do we got here?
Zach wins 3-2.
3-2. 3-2.
Jack wins.
All right. All right.
Well, you know
It's
what
mostly because I'm from Georgia and I
I'm
love
impressed
President
though.
Carter.
I'm impressed.
Well, you know what I enjoyed the most? As soon as Tommy was reading the questions, I saw both of you guys. Like I could see it. You like if you didn't know it, you were right on it.
Yeah.
That was fun. You guys are
Yeah,
good.
we didn't start this process of planning these fan conventions because we don't love the show. I
Right,
promise.
yeah. Yeah.
Truth.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, it's funny because for whatever reason, I don't have too many friends who I mean, they've all seen the show, but who were as like deeply invested in it as I was. So I've got a few of the Golden Girls trivia games and stuff, and I only have like one or two people that I know I can sit down and play that with. So this is, I mean, yeah, I'm impressed with your answers.
We have
Very
a
good.
we have a lot of people that come to the convention who said things very similar to what you say, that they really love it, and maybe their friends don't love it as much. And they come and they meet each other, and it's just the best feeling for the whole weekend because it's like you're
It's
around your
community.
people
Yeah,
who just get it. You get all the costumes and the inside jokes, and you just kind of spend the whole weekend like Rose walking around with this big smile on your face, just happy to see everyone.
No, that's the great thing about any convention really is you're among other people who are part of a community that they get you, you get them, and it's just fun to see how you're not the only one who gets that joke and remembers that episode or that line from that episode. Um, Real quick, do either of you have a favorite Sophia story? A picture it story?
I have a favorite because I was interviewing somebody to do some work at Golden Con.
Mhm.
And I hope they never hear this. They've written a book about references in the Golden Girls.
Yeah.
and every reference I threw at them, they didn't know.
Yeah.
So my favorite is the one that ends with the Yalta Conference, because like I was like, tell me what the Yalta Conference is, and to be fair, I had just looked it up,
Yeah.
prior, but so that's my favorite because it's the most memorable to me.
I think my favorite story is I don't know what it, I think it's the Pablo Picasso one, and that
Mhm.
painter was
Yeah.
Pablo Picasso. And it's
Right.
mostly because of her delivery. Sophia, like Estelle Getty had just the best delivery. But then
So
there's also a story where Dorothy says right after it, I have a feeling you're lying. And Rose says, be positive. And Dorothy goes, I'm positive you're lying. And so that is
So
yeah.
I've got two favorites, and one of them is the Pablo Picasso one because he's like, picture it, a young olive-skinned girl, falls in love with a painter and all this stuff, and then they get torn apart and everything. That young girl was me, and the painter was Pablo Picasso.
Yes.
Like
Almost as if she's gonna say it real quick and no one's gonna notice.
right. And then my other favorite is two young girls in Sicily, they start a business and they make a sauce and then they meet a guy and it tears them apart. They both moved to the States. That one girl was me, and the other one you probably know as Mama Celeste. You know? I don't know. Love that stuff. I live for that. It's awesome.
We had wanted to, one of the things that because we got to try a lot of things. One of the things that we really wanted to try last year was we wanted people to bring their own picture it stories. We wanted to do like kind of an open mic sort of
That's
tell
cool.
your own Sicily story. We didn't get enough people to, but I would love to. That's one that like sort of a dream is to get people to get up and tell their own versions of those types of stories. But I mean, I guess you would have to have a team of Hollywood writers behind you to really make it work, because I know that they did on the girls. So
Yeah, but you'd be surprised, you know. I mean, if you can find a a real life story from your past, and it's like you said, a lot of it's in the delivery, and I mean, or who knows,
yeah,
But yeah, I think it's a great idea, and that's the kind of stuff that would be cool to go and be a part
That'd be
of.
cool interaction. Yeah.
Right,
that. Or
exactly.
can I ask you a question now then?
Please.
What's your favorite St. Olaf story then?
Um,
Or ones that stand out to you?
oh, okay. Uh, there was something about something about the headless boy or something like that. I'm trying to
Zach, you
remember.
want to take it?
Christmas without fruitcake is like St. Sigmund's Day without the headless boy.
Right. Yeah, that was one of my yeah, Saint Sigmund's Day without the headless boy was just, I mean, it's only a line, but I mean, it was just stuff like that because it was just so matter of fact, like why, like common knowledge. Everybody must know this, it's so yeah, yeah, I I love it. I love it. Well, it sounds like it's going to be a great event. It goes for 3 days, and it's what are the dates we got coming up here
Yeah,
for it?
so it'll be March 31st through April 2nd at the Sheraton Grand Chicago Riverwalk in downtown Chicago. You can find tickets at www.thankyouforbeingafan.com. You can also follow us on all of our social medias, Facebook group Thank You for Being a Fan, the event Thank You for Being a Fan. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram and something that's like that. You can access all of those through that website too, that www.thankyouforbeingafan.com. There are tickets available. You can do your VIP 3-day passes. You can just do a regular 3-day pass, 2-day pass, one for each individual day, or a ticket to just the disco dance on Saturday night. There's going to be a ton of people to meet, not just fellow Golden Girls fans, but all the people involved with the show.
I just have one more
fantastic.
question for you guys too.
Yeah.
As convention organizers, how did you guys feel? What did it mean to you when you're putting it all together, you don't realize the grandeur of it and how exciting it's going to be? Then what did it mean to you guys when you walked in there and all of a sudden you see the crowds of people and the spectacle that you guys made happen?
I remember distinctly, and possibly my most vivid memory from the first one was hearing Cindy Fee, who's the original Thank You for Being a Friend theme song singer, part-time Chicagoland resident. And one of the inspirations for trying to make all this happen, like I wanted to track her down. I remember hearing her sing both Thank You for Being a Friend and some other tunes, a couple of originals and some others from the show. And also she sang with Finally Aaron, whom you definitely know if you have an internet connection anywhere. He's the guy who did the gospel duet of Thank You for Being a Friend.
Oh, yeah.
And it was exhilarating to hear them sing together. It was beautiful. I mean, I'm always, enthralled by people who can sing anyway, but Cindy Fee's speaking voice is rich like a Disney character, and her singing voice is warm enough that it'll still give you chills. You know what I'm saying? And then you get that electric, like, high energy gospel, soul from Aaron, and it still gives me chills to think about. So that was probably my favorite moment. But I don't know, I can't speak for Brad.
One of my favorite moments that stuck out to me a lot was we had sort of created this weekend wrap up where we had done some short video things about the girls and the stars and the show and what it meant to us. And what struck me is that we thought it was going to have all this gravitas and be so moving, and it was the stories that everyone else brought to the convention that were way more impressive. And it was just and then watching people leave after leave after the that, and there was one other memory that I had received a call here at my day job in like January of last year. The convention wasn't until late April. I received a call in January from a woman named Regina from Nebraska. She had never flown on a plane. She was coming to the Golden Girls convention with her granddaughter because they watched it every day growing up, and there was no way she was going to miss it, but she needed help in getting here and hand holding and what about this and navigating the website and getting the tickets bought and all of that. And we talked maybe once a week, once every other week for the 4 months leading up to the convention, and finally getting to meet her there with her granddaughter was
That's
a
awesome.
really cool moment.
That's
That's
very
cool.
cool. That's very cool. Nice. Well, you're doing good work. I appreciate it that you're out there doing this and keeping the whole culture alive. And you know, I I hope you guys have a really great weekend with it. So
We look
Please
forward
join
to being
us.
there, and this has been a lot of the energy that you guys have. There's no secret. Tommy's a much bigger fan than I am. I love the show. I'm not on Tommy's level, but I am so stoked after the enthusiasm that you guys just showed in this. I am so stoked to come and check it out,
yeah,
and we encourage everyone else to check it out. We hope everybody comes and blows that place
John
open.
can tell you that my kitchen is primarily Golden Girls stuff everywhere. And oddly enough, it's they've mostly been gifts from people. It's like everybody knows how much I love it. So, I mean, if they see anything Golden Girls, I've had the Chia Pets. I've had like all. I mean, like people just get me stuff, and I'm
Yeah,
just
show up
always-
at that convention. Like if you want some Golden Girls merch, I got it covered.
Yeah, yeah, totally awesome. Well,
Tommy,
guys,
I wear an extra large T-shirt. I'm just saying.
okay, all right. Well, guys, again, thank you so much. You guys are both a delight, and I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us. And we will get the word out there, and we will make sure that there are people over there to see you guys. So, will you be
And
around?
thank you for being a
Will you-
friend.
Will you be around there if we run into
Well,
you
of
there?
course. Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. Please be
good.
in touch. Let us know when you're there. Let
Yeah,
us know when you're there. We'll do these pictures. It'll be a great time. And
yeah.
it's so nice to meet both of you.
Yeah,
We'll show
definitely
you a
love to
good
meet
time.
you in
We
person.
appreciate y'all.
Oh,
Oh,
well,
we can't wait,
appreciate
man. It's gonna be
Thank
exciting.
you. Thank you. All right, guys, you enjoy your rest of your day, and thank you again for being here, and thank you for being a friend.
You got it. Thank you.
Oh,
Thanks,
thank
guys.
you.
All right, take care.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. All right, everybody. That was Zack Hudson and Brad Balof. Those are my kind of guys right there.
I think they needed to be a little more excited.
I'll
Wasn't
tell
it
you,
cool?
no, I mean,
Just to see the energy on those guys.
well, it's fun when you've got that when you can share that enthusiasm. Like, it's like you feed off of each other. Like, yeah, I'm like ready to go get in the car and head to Golden Con right now.
Like you feed off of me.
No, you feed off of me like a remora or something. But
No, but it's guys like that, organizers like that. I mean, I've been going to conventions for 20 years,
yeah,
and it's rare to have a chance to actually speak with the convention organizers. And usually, if you do see them, a lot of times they're, it's all business for them, and they're interested in the profit. And I understand all that, but running a convention. But these guys, it's such a passion for them, and they have so much fun with it.
absolutely.
You can't help but get sucked up into it.
No, and that's that's why that event will be successful, because they really do honestly care about it. You can tell, and I'm glad they're out there doing it. Like I said, keeping the whole thing alive. It
And
just
I'm excited about meeting Christy McNichol again. I mean, I met her a few years back. She is one of the nicest, funniest, coolest people I've ever met at a convention.
It's David Leisure for me, man. I gotta meet David Leisure. I just, for whatever reason, I loved his character on Empty Nest. Guy was in the airplane. I mean,
No, I loved him too.
I mean, like I don't know why, but as a kid, I was like, I want to be that guy. I was like, he's out partying, he's just stops by the neighbor's house and makes himself a drink and, you know, hangs out on their patio, uses their pool, you know. It's like, I don't know, to me that I was like, this guy's got it down, you know. He was just like a modern day Larry Dallas, you know. It was just so yeah, for me, if I get to meet David Leisure, that'd be pretty awesome.
But see, that's just part of it too. There's something there for everybody. So
Yeah. And I'm excited about the cosplay too, because that sounds
are you going in? Are you cosplaying?
if I was going to, I would definitely, it would be Stan 100%. I'd just get the bald cap thing, you know, and you know, and then I'd get like a name badge that says, "Hi, it's me, Stan," because he always said that every time they'd open the door and he was
Yes.
there, even if, I mean, even though they all know him very well. He introduces himself every time. Hi, it's me, Stan.
Now, would I be able to come as the
95% of the time, the door slammed shut.
Well, yeah.
Which was great. It was rare that he ever got in on the first try.
Would I be able to come as the Richard Mulligan character, or would that be
That wouldn't be bad. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. That
Big fan.
Dr. Harry Weston. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You
You
could
know,
have
stethoscope,
you
the
could
white
pull
jacket,
you could pull that off. I could
got the
see that.
hair.
And you know, with the hair, you got two options. You could be Rose, or you could be Sophia. You know, gives you a couple more to work with there. So you'd have to kind of fluff it out a little more for Rose, but Sophia, you know, just kind of trim it more into a circle. And
Barry Bostwick once said we had the same hair.
who you and Estelle
Me and Barry
Getty?
Bostwick.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I don't know about that. So anyway, looking forward to it. We're planning on being there, and
Again, March 31st through April 2nd at the Sheraton Chicago Riverwalk.
yeah,
Beautiful
and,
hotel.
yeah, it is, and I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be something. So, and again, thank you to our guests today. Just two wonderful guys. I'm already a fan, and I hope to see them when I'm there. So.
And we'll provide updates on future episodes of the Johngy or Else podcast leading up to the convention.
Absolutely.
As more guests are going to be announced, more updates will be announced, and we will be bringing you those updates.
And John, if they wanted to get access to some of those updates, and we're looking to you for these answers, where on social media could they find you?
They could find me all one place. Just look up Johngy's Beat on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, on my website, on YouTube, or on the Johngy or Else podcast. And check out my writing on the Patch and globaltravelerusa.com, where I'll also provide updates and news of Golden Con. But where, Tommy, if somebody had nothing better to do in life and they've thoroughly exhausted searching for Johngy's Beat and decided to give your stuff a check, where would they find you?
That was weak. That was a weak.
A week.
Weak. Yeah, just lame.
Don't judge.
Lame,
Move on.
cheap shots. I'll tell you what. If people wanted to hit me up and you know, do some Golden Girls trivia with me, they can find me on the twit at Tommy_else. They can find me on the gram at Tommy_else. They can find the Johngy or Else Facebook page on the book. You can find our YouTube channel, the Johngy or Else podcast, on the tube. You can find our merchandise, hoodies and t-shirts, available at prowrestlingtees.com in the Johngy's Beat store. As always, just scroll to the bottom past all of the Johngy's Beat shirts.
Cheap shot.
And you will find the good stuff. And then, yeah, I guess that's it.
Well, I want this out there, though, for all those people who are listening. If anybody wants to challenge Tommy to a Golden Girls trivia, I will gladly play the Alex Trebek and host it. Tommy will take on all comers?
I guess so.
Tommy will take on
Yeah.
all comers. Anyone wants to challenge him?
Look,
Bring it
I
on.
I am not nearly as good as the gentleman that we just
Well, who
just had.
is? Those guys are
So
tops.
I mean, I can tell you right now they would bury me.
Well, they're not.
But
No.
I would be more than happy to take a swing at trivia with anybody anyway, because even if you get it wrong, it's still fun just to, you know, do the questions and remember the scenes from the shows and stuff. So I will absolutely take on anyone who wants to.
So bring it on. Let's go. I want this. There might even be a prize in it if you beat Tommy.
Yeah, John, I'll give you one of his shirts.
There might. That's a little asterisk.
Yeah.
It's called a
All right,
loophole.
buddy. Well, as
Well,
always,
Tommy, we've been sent down the road and back again. Your heart is pure. You're a friend and a confidant.
thank you. Do you know who sang the original? Who wrote the original?
Aaron
song?
Gold.
What?
Aaron Gold?
Nope.
Not Aaron Gold?
Nope.
Who did it?
Andrew Gold.
Andrew Gold. Oh, come on. I was close.
Gotta get the first name right, man.
I was close.
Yeah. No, it's and it's a if you have never heard it, check it out because it's a really great song. And
It is.
it's I always feel bad for the guy that like nobody knows that that's his song, you know, because everybody most people know it, you know, from the Golden Girls, but it was
Both great versions, though.
it was oh yeah, I mean the TV show one, I mean, is iconic, but
You think they ever did a duet of that?
you know, it was actually that's a question I was thinking of asking if I got the chance to talk to her, if she ever actually like ever met him or, you know, sang with him or anything like that. So
All right.
well, all right, John. I've been trying to take it home here, but this guy just
Hey, I am just trying to extend it because I'm actually pumped, man.
I know. It's fun. I'm excited too, man. There it is. All right. For the John G. Orles podcast, I, of course, have been who else but Tommy Ellis. And with me, as always, is the man on the beat from johngysbeat.com, Mr. John Robleski.
Thank you for being our friends.